Races, sporting events, music festivals. At mass gatherings, it's helpful to have a medical presence to provide support to the large crowds. Unlike many of the disasters and public health emergencies that happen with no warning, we can plan ahead, prepare, and routinely serve the public at special events through what we call a medical field response. The MRC has played a key role in supporting emergency medical services and the public at races and other public events, providing medical support and first aid to attendees. Hello, I'm Tracy Matisak for the Medical Reserve Corps, or MRC. You are watching this video because you are interested in assisting with a special event via a medical field response. In order to serve our population, we will need strong volunteer support. We thank you for your willingness to volunteer. As a volunteer, you may be asked to support a medical field response at a special event. This video focuses specifically on medical field stations. Medical field stations can provide first aid and medical care, shelter, hydration, and feeding for special event attendees. These areas may be the first to encounter a true medical emergency and will be closely linked to emergency medical services and ambulance transport to the nearest hospital. This video will review several main concepts about special events and medical field responses and give you the information you need to respond appropriately and safely. Much of the information provided in this video is focused on large public events, but it can also be applied to smaller events such as community fairs or township events. Your unit coordinator will provide event-specific information when you deploy. The main topics you will learn about in this video include special considerations for events with large crowds, the roles MRC volunteers could be asked to perform when working in medical field responses, logistics for deployment, security at large events, and debriefing and demobilization after your volunteer service. At planned special events, we can prepare in advance to address common medical issues and prepare for more serious scenarios that are possible at mass gatherings. In Philadelphia and Southeast Pennsylvania, we often have crowds at sporting events, races, major concerts, and high-profile conferences or dignitary events. Some examples include the Philadelphia Marathon and Broad Street Run each year, numerous festivals throughout the region, a large concert and fireworks on the 4th of July, and a large concert on Labor Day weekend. Any jurisdiction, regardless of its size, can have its capabilities tested when faced with such large crowds. At these events, attendees or participants can suffer from a variety of injuries and illnesses. At races, common patient complaints can include athletic injuries, dehydration and cramps, heat exhaustion, hypothermia, abrasions, and cardiac arrhythmias. Large concerts or gatherings can result in patients who are dehydrated, inebriated, suffering from food poisoning, or have minor injuries. Families of patients may need support as they await outcomes or further direction. Weather may play a role in response needs. Excessive temperatures, either hot or cold, can affect large outdoor gatherings and cause a surge in healthcare needs. While security presence will be strong, mass gatherings are potentially dangerous. The Boston Marathon bombing in 2013 has put local law enforcement and security planning on high alert for any incidents that may occur at crowded special events. A mass casualty incident, or MCI, could originate from an intentional terrorist attack or from an accidental stampede, stage collapse, environmental exposure, or chemical exposure. Medical tent staff should review plans for the role of volunteers in a medical surge. Remember that alongside medical casualties, there may be individuals who would benefit from psychological first aid and behavioral health support. Volunteer tasks vary across jurisdictions and by event type. We are providing an overview of possible tasks. You will receive specific instructions from your unit coordinator prior to deployment, so you are clear on your roles, responsibilities, and limitations for each specific deployment. Medical volunteers may provide basic first aid if they are trained and certified to do so. These services may include patient assessment, providing Band-Aids and gauze pads, ice packs, and over-the-counter medications like Tylenol. More advanced care could include checking blood pressure and other vital signs, providing oxygen, providing intravenous fluids, reading electrocardiogram machines, and treating more serious wounds. Non-medical volunteers can assist with patient records and registration, provide behavioral health support to patient families, assisting with family reunification and managing equipment, food, and drinks. It is crucial that as a volunteer you provide appropriate medical care for the setting. Your unit coordinator will have specific information for you, but you must never exceed the scope of practice for your medical license, and be conservative with skills you do not perform on a regular basis. At times, the event may limit the skills you are able to perform to a level below what you are licensed to do. Please adhere to the event's regulations in these cases. If you are concerned about the extent of liability and injury protections for volunteers, consult with your MRC unit coordinator. All volunteers in the MRC must be registered and approved through the Pennsylvania State Registration System called SERV-PA, or registered in your local county's MRC Volunteer Management System. Once you receive a message asking for volunteers, please respond and wait for confirmation that you have been assigned to a role at the event. With your assignment confirmation, you will receive instructions from your unit coordinator. This will include any information about badging. You should always have a state-issued identification, such as a driver's license, with you at any deployment. Some special events may require additional background checks. These take time. If you wish to volunteer at a special event, do not delay in responding to the request for volunteers. When you arrive, check in with a supervisor. They will confirm your attendance and your assigned role and location within the event. There may be multiple medical tents. As a volunteer, you may not be utilized to the full extent of your professional abilities. We all must be flexible when serving at these types of events, but you should feel free to voice concerns to a supervisor. Remember, MRC members are volunteers. We expect you to act professionally and responsibly while balancing your other priorities. While responding, act within your scope of practice. If you agree to deploy, we are counting on you to fill your assigned shift. If you are no longer available for your assignment, please contact your unit coordinator as soon as possible. The safety of our volunteers is paramount. Special events will likely have a unique security presence, full police coverage, as well as any additional coverage as the event warrants. For example, national special security events will be handled by the Secret Service and their agents and partners. If at any point you feel threatened or unsafe, please alert your direct supervisor immediately. Whether you are volunteering at a race or a large concert, it is important to be mindful of your personal safety. Most crowds are not violent, but mass gatherings are always potentially dangerous. Stampedes can occur, and it is important to know how to stay safe in crowds. Be aware of the event map, particularly ways in and out of the venue. Review these exits with your group. Wear closed-toed shoes that are tight to your feet and no clothing or earrings that can be snagged or caught. Always have your wallet with ID with you and come with a fully charged cell phone. Stay in the secure area, but if you must move, take the long way around the crowd instead of through it. Do not stand or stop next to immovable objects like walls. These can become dangerous if the crowd surges toward you. Do not respond to taunts or aggression by members of the crowd. If you find yourself in a stampede or unable to escape, move with the crowd and sideways, similar to escaping from a riptide in the ocean. If you drop something, do not pick it up. Most importantly, know the emergency plans for your group. A few simple precautionary steps help you stay safe in the event of an emergency. Large public events may be the site for a terrorist act, like an explosion. Your safety is important. Ensure that your location is safe, and if possible, wait for instructions from your MRC team leader or medical person in charge. Law enforcement personnel will assume the lead in responding to an intentional criminal event, and so it is important to follow instructions from police and the fire department in these situations. MRC volunteers will support the public health response for the duration of the incident or for as long as their services are needed. Debriefing should occur after each shift. This will likely occur via a survey or conference call with the MRC coordinator. Depending on the incident, demobilization may include a mental and physical health assessment. We encourage volunteers to be aware of their physical and mental health needs while responding. Report any injuries or stressful situations as soon as possible to the on-site manager or unit coordinator. For demobilization, MRC volunteers should ensure the following: that all assigned activities are completed, if additional assistance is required, that all issued equipment and supplies are returned and accounted for, and that the volunteer checked out at the end of his or her shift before leaving the scene or site. Special events occur regularly in our communities. This is a chance to showcase the abilities of our MRC units and support our emergency partners. Please consider volunteering. Thank you for taking the time to help us be better prepared, and thanks for watching.